Hi guys, I want to talk about one of my favorite places in the game because it's so creepy, and if you've seen this village, you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. So Dominula Windmill Village is the place where you go and you will find these ladies who are laughing in a very creepy way, and they look very creepy. They have bloodstained clothes and they're just dancing. They're dancing. They don't attack you at all. You can go stand next to them. They won't hurt you. They won't hurt you until you hurt them first. Some of them are aggressive, but for the most part, they're all just happy to be dancing. And Dominula actually means mistress in Latin, which I found out, which is interesting considering you wouldn't necessarily look at this character and think, oh, mistress. But I wanted to know more about this area, so I started to look into it, and it turns out the surrounding area has a few different locations relating to it. So the west, east, and village windmill pastures. And so I visited these locations because I was trying to look for clues. I'm like an investigative reporter in Elden Ring, but I was trying to look for clues. And in Village Windmill Pasture, you see a bunch of nobles that are cowering and they're afraid. And in East Windmill Pasture, you see the ladies dancing around a bonfire. And in that bonfire, you find a couple of items. It's actually my favorite clothing set in the game because it's so pretty. I wish I owned this. I would absolutely wear this. But these items are interesting because they say they're from expatriate royalty. And the text is funny. It says that even if they were found dead in a ditch in the middle of nowhere, they would still, their noble heritage would come through. So I found that was funny because, yeah, that's exactly what they ended up, dead in a ditch in the middle of this bonfire. And here's perhaps the biggest clue about this festival is this ghost. It says, I hear festive melody, and then, no, don't skin me. I swear my hide is filthy. Which obviously means this person heard this melody, came here under the assumption they were going to party and got skinned, which is very sad. I found these ladies, and at first I thought the one on the right was mourning the one on the left, but when I got closer they attacked me, so that was a fake out. I don't know what they're actually doing. This woman right here is cleaning, well, she's licking her knife. I also thought maybe she's crying, but no, another fake out. But those are really the only kind of like little visual cues other than the dancing that have any sort of different behavior to let you know what's going on here. The windmills have significance as well. I'm not really sure what it is, but there's something there to be explained. And the size of them is not human, so they're absolutely not human. You can see it's just the lanky arms and just the expressions. At first, I thought they were the bat harpies, you know, the ones that are singing. Those bats actually look a lot like them. They have the same, I feel like I'm stereotyping them, but it's like that typical crone figure. So I thought the bats were related, but I'm not so sure anymore. But yeah, I wanted to know more about these, so I had to look into it. Now these two seem to be worshipping a windmill. If you look up, that is also where you fight the Godskin Apostles, so I'm not sure if that's supposed to imply that, but looks like they're worshipping the windmill. And also you have the little effigies all over the place that are decorated in pink flowers, which is funny because this is what you use, you know, for the online multiplayer. I just thought it was funny how they're all decorated. So as I was trying to farm them for items, something interesting happened. As I love that spell, by the way, that Glintstone Arc. So as I was attacking them, I noticed one of them do something, and what she did was she bit her wrist and then she spit out blood. There is a close-up of that as she's doing it. I can't remember seeing another character in the game do that, so that is pretty specific animation if that's just for her. But yeah, it's really interesting to see that up close. So these are the items that they drop, and they're all wearing these different hoods. And you have the blue one and the festive hood. And the blue one says that it's dyed in a stunning blue, and it's only permitted for the young maids who play a central role in the festival. Of course, they're no longer young maids, and of course, it's no longer that stunning blue. And I love that they put that clue in there, the stunning blue, and then they give you this navy hood in the same area to show you, like, no, this is what blue looks like. Their time has clearly passed. They've been doing this for a long time, and that's just such a beautiful clue. Also, the festive garb, it says that it's faintly bloodstained. Like, we understand there's bad things happening in this village, but this is yet another clue to show you they're up to no good. They're killing people here. And then you find this bludgeon here, this weapon, and it says that the skull is too large in size to be human. So I don't know if that's like a troll skull or if it's another thing. But yeah, they are aggressive once you attack them. But I'm enamored with it. I love creepy things, and this was made for me. But as I was working on my Reichard video, I combed that area again, Mount Gelmir. I went back to try and see if I missed any clues or anything, and I went back to Hermit Village, which is right next to Volcano Manor, as you can see there. And, the first time when I went here, I just fought all the demi-humans that were there, and I cleared the area. But when I went back, I walked past this body and I noticed, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, that's the same woman from Windmill Village. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just a similar outfit. So I did these close-up shots to make sure I got all the details. And when I'm doing this, I feel like Nightcrawler. I feel like I'm standing over their dead body, getting these great angles. Feels so morbid. But yeah, so I wanted to make sure that it was indeed the same character, so I put them side by side, and yes, it is verified that is the same exact character, and this is here for a reason. So now we have this extra mystery, like what's going on in Hermit Village. And if you go to the mountain, you see this sage, and he's teaching the demi-humans something. And you also, in the same Hermit Village, you find this Herodis glintstone crown, and this says that it was granted to scholars who engaged in nomadic study far away from the academy, which this would be. But that jogged my memory. I thought, wait a second, I saw a sage over at West Windmill Village, and he's overlooking that area. And when you see the glintstone crown, it's the Haima glintstone crown, and they were dedicated to quelling conflict, to stopping conflict at the academy. So now with all these clues together, like what does that mean? What do the presence of the sages and the specific intent behind those glintstone crowns mean? So I have a theory that sages found this group of people, they saw how violent they were, they saw the festivities of them skinning people, of them relishing in hurting, and they're cursed, and they put the spell on them to keep them dancing, to keep them busy and laughing so that they wouldn't continue to kill people. And that's what I think the background of it is there. And if we go back to this map here, we can kind of see, okay, Hermit Village, and then West, East, Village, Windmill, Damanula. When you look at the path here, now in the center you see the minor Erd tree. There are a bunch of those bright pink flowers all over the ground. So I think they came from Hermit Village, and then they traveled up to Windmill Village, and that's what I think was. I think they got chased out from Mount Gelmir, and they went up to Windmill Village, and that is where they are safe, and they kind of found their sanctuary. And here are some of those bright pink flowers that are all over that area near the Erd tree, which I just think is another visual clue, like, oh yeah, that they came through this area. I also noticed that the front gates, the entrances were very similar. So at Hermit Village, it's got the same exact entrance as it does at Damanula Windmill Village. And both of them look run down. Both of the villages look like they haven't been inhabited and lived in. So I don't know if they came over and took over, or if it's just a state to show that things have fallen apart. But I'd love to know more information, because this is probably one of my favorite locations. I love true crime, and I think that's why I love the lore so much and looking for clues, is because I feel like I'm uncovering a mystery, and that's just my favorite thing. So if you know any information about Windmill Village, I would love to hear it. If you've came across anything in the game, that would be amazing if you could share it with me. Otherwise, my official theory is that they are under a spell from the sages, from the Haima sage who's there to quell conflict, who saw what they were doing, heard news of this awful festival of people going there and being skinned, and I think they are there, they're cursed to laugh and to be happy, to avoid doing this. But I really don't know. That could totally be wrong. I just feel like a detective who has some evidence and is trying to make the situation make sense. But I loved this area, and I just had to share my find about Hermit Village. I was so excited when I found that. So yeah, that's Windmill Village. If anyone has any other answers, I'm all ears. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!